so don't forget.
Hold out. No, my manager has to look up in the clothes, and I feel bad.
Oh. Yo, we're totally fucking live.
Can't say that word, Jeremy.
It's okay, it's YouTube.
Can't say that word.
It's okay,
We're gonna get demonetized.
We're gonna get demonetized. Here, it was within the first minute. It was very clearly within the first minute, too. Dang. Come say hi, people. Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my friend and co-host,
Hayden Raymer.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have a big show today. We do. For those who don't know, the MLB playoffs, not the wild card round, the real playoffs, they start today.
Yeah.
Today, at 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
We will be diving into that. We will be going over our World Series predictions. We'll also be going over the wild card games, rounds, breakdown of that kind of stuff. There is a lot more to talk about in baseball than people who don't know. You know?
You lost me.
Anyway, outside of that, Jonathan Taylor, he is going to play on Sunday for the Indianapolis Colts. We'll break that down a little bit, talk about that, and there's more. It's a surprise. But yeah, we have a big show today.
Surprise even to me.
Yeah. We got a big show today. Anyway, how have you been, Hayden?
I've been alright. Just working, watching sports, as one usually does. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. All right. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start with the wild card rounds here.
Okay.
All 4 of the wild card rounds were sweeps.
Yep.
2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these wild card rounds intrigued you the most?
Intrigues me?
Or whatever. Interest you.
Like before or like heading into it or like
Both.
after?
Both.
I mean, before I was really excited to see the Rays play, see how they played without, they had a lot of injuries. Brandon Lau was hurt. Luke Raley was hurt. Those are 2 big offensive contributors, especially in that second half. They got swept, so, they kind of needed those guys. They didn't score a whole lot of runs. Their defense was atrocious. That was not a good series. I guess the series that kind of intrigued me the most, probably that Diamondbacks-Brewers series. That's just, 2, really weird teams in, modern baseball. And that was a pretty fun series to watch, You got to watch Corbin Carroll do his thing. Didn't get to see Willie Adames really do his thing. But it was a good series. Good pitching matchups. And I don't know. I feel like matchup-wise, the better team won. But the best team to match up against the Dodgers did not win.
You think the Diamondbacks don't match up against the Dodgers at all?
Well, I mean, to jump into, this is a fun little stat I heard. So Clayton Kershaw has not lost to, I think it's the Diamondbacks at home since 2012. He's their Game 1 starter. Merrill Kelly, the Diamondbacks Game 1 starter, is 0-19 against the Dodgers. So it's not a very good matchup there in Game 1. I think the Brewers just have really good pitching, and the Dodgers don't have any healthy pitching, and so I thought that would have been a really good matchup. But it's all good.
The Brewers are a very disappointing team all the time. They always have, they got Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff. you know?
Freddie Peralta, too, in that conversation.
Right, but it's every year they've got those two guys, you know? And they always seem to have a third one that comes out of seemingly nowhere.
I mean, Peralta's been there for a while.
I know, but, you know, like Eric Lauer was pretty solid last year.
Adrian Hauser was,
You know, they have these guys. Their pitching is always so good, and then they just can never get it done. I don't remember them getting past the wild card round in a very long time.
No, I mean, they're definitely disappointed. But, I mean, when you look at that lineup, it's just kind of, I mean, it makes sense, you know? I mean, they have the pitching, clearly. I mean, that bullpen, they have a guy who gave up, like, 10 earned runs all year, I think, Joel Payampas. Was really good. But, I mean, Yelich is good, but he's not 2019, 2018 Yelich anymore. William Contreras is really solid. But, I mean, you're kind of relying on Mark Canha to be your guy lately, and that's just not really a recipe for success.
Why does this Why does this keep happening to them? You know, they've been in the same spot for probably the last 5-ish years. Why can't they get that offensive weapon? Why can't they get over this hump?
I mean, they've had those offensive weapons before. It's just, you know, this little double down the line that got bobbled. You know, it was kind of the big year where they had a ton of offensive weapons, you know. But, you know, Trent Grisham bobbled that double, and they ended up losing that game in 2019. And ever since then, you know, that's kind of when all those bats kind of left. Mike Moustakas left in free agency. He went to the Reds. Yasmani Grandal went to the White Sox. You know, Ryan Braun retired shortly after that. Ryan Braun really solid in his career. You know, if you look up that Baseball Reference page, you know, it's like, oh wow, he was a lot better than I remembered.
We love Ryan Braun. Except for the other stuff.
Lorenzo Cain kind of fell off, and you know, he then retired, and now they haven't really had that answer in center field. I mean, Joey Weimer has been really good, but I mean, he's not like, you know, he's not like a guy who, he's a guy who, you know, you could upgrade there. They just, you know, all their guys got old or left in free agency and retired.
Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff are both entering their last year of arbitration.
Yes.
I don't think they had a whole ordeal earlier this season. I forget it was one of them. Corbin Burns. So at least him, I don't think he comes back. At least.
What, in like signs a long-term extension?
Yeah.
I mean, it could. I mean, it's, you know, like, it's whatever. It's, at the end of the day, you know, if you backload a truckload of money to him, you know, I'm sure he'll sign. I don't think the Brewers have the, you know, they're gonna.
They don't have the
truck.
I don't think they can. They don't have the cap to sign both of them, do they?
I mean, there's no cap in baseball, Jeremy.
Well,
they don't
have the willingness to spend.
Yeah, I don't think they have the willingness to spend. No, I think most likely, you know, you see somebody like Burns get traded to a team with a lot of young prospects, who is kind of like that one starting pitcher / ace away from being like a perennial World Series contender.
So the Nationals.
I was thinking more like the team up the Beltway from the Nationals, but you know, that works too.
No. Yeah, on the other side of that, the Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
That they were losing by multiple runs both times in that series, both games. Was there anything in specific about that team that led them to be able to come back against? We talked about the Brewers pitching, very good at pitching.
I mean, they tagged Corbin Burns for 3 runs, or 3 home runs. You know, so it's that's like a scrappy team. You know, they're very fast, they're very young, and they kind of just always seem to come up in these big moments and always have these big moments. And I mean, they just have a solid lineup. You know, so.
You think they have a shot against the Dodgers?
No.
Not a shot?
No, I think that's probably one of the series where it's the odds favorites is, I think 3 of them, the odds favorites are kind of set to win that. I mean, obviously it's baseball, anything can happen. But, you know, if you were like, hey, pick who was going to win this series, which you're probably going to do here in a minute
I will.
for all of these, I'm going to pick the Dodgers.
All right. Moving on, the other NL series.
Yep.
Phillies, Marlins.
Yeah.
The Phillies,
there's not a whole lot
they
to talk
they
about
dominated
there.
that one. Rip the fish. But let's talk about the Marlins a little bit. They're a little bit ahead of where a lot of people had them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in like run differential, point differential in all sports. I think that is kind of a true testament to how good a team is. At the end of the day, you got to outscore your opponents. And the Marlins came into the playoffs with a negative run differential. So they were probably the weakest playoff team, and it kind of showed.
Doesn't help when you're going against the Phillies in Philly.
Yeah, that's not not an
it's
easy
tough for any
task.
team to go in and do.
But I think their their trade for Jake Berger and Josh Bell were both really solid moves. I think they just, we saw what they did last offseason. They traded away Pablo Lopez for Luis Arias. They're probably going to have to do something like that again, where they have to trade away a young starter and they might not even have the depth to do that anymore. They have Sandy Alcantara, got Tommy John. So
I was going to say, it sounds like you're suggesting they trade Sandy.
he's getting Tommy John. So
They can't.
He literally just got Tommy John, yeah.
Yeah. But where do
They signed him to an extension.
Did they?
Yeah.
Good. But no, the Marlins are a little bit ahead of schedule here. They got some big bats. What's one thing in this offseason you look for them to do to, keep improving here? Like, I know you said make another big trade, but
I think the big moves, they kind of did that. I thought, they had a little bit of a clog at first base /DH. And so, getting hey, you want to go get a Matt Chapman in free agency, move Jake Berger to first, have Bell DH. Like, I think you have a pretty good lineup there. I think that or go get a center fielder and
what do you do with Jazz?
put him at second. I think Jazz, keep him in the infield. He was a really good defensive infielder. I haven't looked at his public numbers on his defensive statistics, but I'm sure they were fine in center field. But keep him at second. Keep him in the dirt. Like, I think having up the middle defense is super important. They lost some of that when they traded away Miguel Rojas. But I don't know.
And the Phillies, on the other hand,
Are really good at baseball, yeah.
they're very good at baseball. That home environment is insane.
Yeah.
I was watching their games on TV, and I was like, ugh. I miss when the Nationals could draw crowds like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's so electric. You can feel the energy through the screen. What are they capable of in this postseason? They made the World Series last year.
Yeah. This postseason kind of comes down to this series that starts tonight, taking on the Atlanta Braves. If you can beat the Braves, in all honesty, the World Series championship is kind of yours. I don't think there is a team better than the Braves in baseball right now. So if they can beat the Braves, I think they have a very, very clear shot at winning the World Series. If not, they lose to the Braves. So yeah. I don't think they can beat the Braves. That's the kind of the question you're asking. I think the Braves, like I said, are just like the best team in baseball by like a solid margin. I think the injuries that they've faced is a little rough, but I think they're getting some of the guys back. I haven't looked at their NLDS roster, but I can quick check.
Yeah. No, the Braves are so good. and they're going to be so good for a long time. These guys are still super young and under contract for a while. So no, it's going to be tough. That's the series that I'm most excited for. Not only is it an NL East battle, but I mean those two teams.
Yeah, I mean they're without Charlie Morton, which is a big loss, but I mean they still have Spencer Strider, Max Fried, Bryce Elder, and AJ Smith-Shawver. Still a pretty good rotation there that you're not complaining about. So.
Sorry, there's a live band going on a couple rooms over, and we're getting sound like piped through the air ducts.
Yeah.
So, I apologize for that. A little distracting. Anyway, on to the AL wild card.
Yep.
Start with the Twins. They won.
First time since 2002.
They did that. This series did come with a little bit of controversy.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Game 2, you got the Blue Jays 0-0 in the third inning, or fourth inning, I guess. But their manager decides to pull a Cy Young candidate. Or not Cy Young, but he was
having a really good start.
Very good start.
He was having a very good start. His stuff was looking great. And they pulled him. A lot of people then made the parallel to pulling out Blake Snell in the 2020 World Series. And everyone was like, oh man, this is what's wrong with baseball. And then the Blue Jays proceeded to not score any runs, and it did not matter. And then everyone was like, oh, it's the front office. And now it turns out, or according to the reports today, it was actually their manager who made the decision. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a bad argument, or just a dumb argument all around, but that's baseball. People like to fight about just stupid stuff all the time.
The Blue Jays are another team that have been kind of stuck in the same spot, a little similar to the Brewers. I think they have a little more time to figure stuff out, but what do they do with Schneider this offseason?
I mean, I think he's a fine manager. I don't think I don't think managers, we've had this conversation on this show. I mean, this was eons ago. At least it feels like it. Managers in baseball don't really do a whole lot. They're kind of, just there. I mean, obviously they make decisions, but at the end of the day, it's, I feel like it's probably not as important as it is in something like football, where having a good head coach is really important. I mean, you can win no matter what your manager does, especially if they're a popular person in the clubhouse. I mean, that's why you saw somebody like Gabe Kapler, who's a good manager. He's a guy who does add to your team a little bit, but he lost the clubhouse. And as long as you can keep the clubhouse, I think, kind of keep your spot in that manager seat.
Yeah, it is a very mental, I guess, position. That's not the way I wanted to say that, but
it's okay. We can redo it. It's a very what?
I can't think of the word.
Okay.
Very, mental position.
Mental position.
You know what I mean.
I don't.
You know exactly what I mean.
That's why I was asking you for you to clarify.
The main job, or not the main job, but no, the manager, as much as his job is to make the decisions, it is to keep the team focused.
Yeah.
On whatever they're.
Yeah, you need that Hall of Fame motivator.
Yeah,
there.
You need that Hall of Fame motivator there.
If they can make good decisions too, that's where you have that elite manager. If not, they're just solid.
Yeah. So now the Blue Jays, they're just, a lot of their guys didn't have the greatest season. Specifically, Vlad,
yeah, no, I mean, he started hitting the ball on the ground again, and he wasn't lifting it and pulling it, which, turns out you got to do those two things to hit home runs. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need to pull, but needs to lift the ball to hit it over the fence. Can't be hitting it on the ground to do that. And he just wasn't doing that this year.
Yeah. No, the Blue Jays and the Diamondbacks had a trade earlier this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you were not a fan of that for the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
We have a whole season of hindsight here, Hayden.
Yeah. Has
your mind changed?
Yeah, no, I was blanking on what trade you were talking about, and then you said how much I hated it. And I was like, oh yeah, Dalton Varsho. I don't know what Varsho did this year. I know they traded away Teoscar Hernandez, which is kind of like, the Blue Jays traded away Teoscar Hernandez, which I think those kind of come in twofold. They kind of, twofold's not the right word there, but, they kind of go hand in hand. You don't make one without the other. And yeah, I mean, Varsho was below average offensively and above average defensively. And he was like, okay, above average base runner. I think you'd probably want something. I think when I considered that trade, I was looking at it from the lens is Dalton Varsho a 5-WAR player, which is what he was in 2022. Then he was just a regular type player. He was 2-WAR. That's kind of what you want from an everyday guy. So, yeah, I don't know. I think just their roster construction was weird in general.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it's the same conversation we had when they made the trade. You're going to go sign Kevin Kiermaier to be your everyday center fielder, and then you're going to go trade for Dalton Varsho, who's an everyday center fielder, and a lot of his value came from his defense. And defense matters. I mean, it matters in left field, right? But, when we're talking about, man, would I really rather have a really good defensive left fielder or a really good defensive center fielder? You'd rather have that defensive center fielder. And so they kind of put him, in a spot where his defense mattered a little bit less. And then they just didn't really have an offense to kind of, be there. I mean, the team, let me see where they ranked. And they ranked 11th in OPS and 14th in runs scored this year in Major League Baseball. I think they probably would rather have a little bit more power there. A little bit more,
We have breaking news.
What's the breaking news?
Sorry to get away from baseball. Jonathan Taylor just signed an extension.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, 3 years, $42 million, 26.5 guaranteed.
Is that good for a running back?
That's very good for a running back.
I mean, he's very good, so.
He's now third in average paid for running backs. So he didn't reset the market, but he did get paid.
Yeah.
He's sitting there behind CMC and Alvin Kamara.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand one of those.
Kamara
is very good.
Yeah. Well, Kamara was very good when he was healthy.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, he's back now.
Yeah. But yes, 3 years, $42 million.
I just got the notification for it.
It's a huge deal for a running back.
I'm going to go trade for him.
No one's going to trade for him.
No, time to go trade for him in fantasy football.
Oh, you should have done that earlier this week.
It's okay. It's okay. I don't have enough running backs,
Never enough.
Never enough. I don't think Saquon and Austin Eckler are enough, personally.
No, but that's good. It's really good for the running back market to go in and get that. Uh-oh. Rangers and O's has been delayed.
No, was that the 1 o'clock game?
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, there's so much news happening right now.
Yeah, that was the 1 o'clock game.
All right, cool. So we have more time.
1 o'clock games are... I'm just going to come out and say it. I think 1 o'clock games in baseball are for playoffs. I mean, it's a Saturday now, so it doesn't matter as much on the weekdays, but that was stupid. The Tampa Bay Rays to have a 3 o'clock game on a Tuesday and a Wednesday when their stadium is impossible to get to. Like, that's just I would rather stay home and watch it than go.
Is that? I mean, I know they had like really, really poor attendance in the playoffs. Is that the main reason? And I know they've had poor attendance all year. But that's just the Rays.
Well, so again, it's 3:00 on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. They were probably given fans were given about a 48-hour notice that those games were starting at 3:00. It's not like all season long they knew what time those games were starting. And then the stadium is an hour and a half outside of Tampa. And it's just impossible to get to. You have to quite literally go over like this long, long bridge to get there. It just doesn't make sense. It's just I don't know. That was a bad decision by MLB, and they kind of set them up for failure, in my opinion. But
does MLB hate the Rays? Is this revenge?
No, I think MLB is trying to push a narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's they hate the Rays. I think they're just trying to push that, poor attendance narrative. Now, the Rays did just sign a stadium extension, so I don't know why we're pushing that narrative now. But
the MLB hates the Rays.
MLB hates the Rays, I guess. I don't know.
They tried to move to Canada for half the season.
That's true. That was really dumb. I remember that.
And yeah, I don't think the MLB liked that. And then they did this.
Oh, I don't think MLB cares. I'm sure MLB loved that.
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it's Rob Manfred, man. I don't know. He loves that weird stuff.
Speaking of the Rays and Rangers series, I thought it was going to be a tighter series.
Yeah, like I said, when you lose Brandon Lau and Luke Raley, who most people don't know Luke Raley's name, was really important to that lineup. I mean, when you're talking about a 120 OPS plus guy, 20% better than average, like your average MLB hitter, like that's important to have that guy in your lineup. And he wasn't there; he was hurt. And they've also, been dealing with like off the field stuff all season. Well, not all season, most of the season, and so it's just kind of a.
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll be back in the playoffs next year, and they'll be better.
Yeah, they will. Excuse me.
You're excused.
No, but the what was the most surprising wild card result for you?
I don't know. I don't think any really shocked me. I knew the Phillies were gonna win that. I was hoping the Rays would win, but I wasn't shocked the Rangers won. I mean, I guess the Twins, because they broke that drought.
They hadn't won a game in like 20 years.
Yeah, no, it was bad. I think what was it? Somebody had like their entire career. I think it was Adam Wainwright had his entire career since like they last won a game. Which is a little funny, but yeah, no, I mean I don't. It's baseball. Like nothing really shocks me anymore in baseball. Nothing.
Nothing?
The thing that would have shocked me was the Marlins winning the World Series, but that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, no, it was pretty chalk. Other than the Rangers, I thought the Rays were going to be able to do something.
Yeah, you figured they would score more than like 2 runs in the entire series, but it's okay.
It's fine. Anyway, let's break down these series. Let's start with the one that was supposed to be first. Orioles-Rangers. The Orioles are very good.
Yeah. The Rangers are very good.
Rangers are very good.
They're both playoff teams, Jeremy. They're both very good.
Yeah. The matchup for the first game is Kyle Bradish taking on Andrew Heaney. The Orioles' starting pitching, you touched on it a little bit, is a little weak.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No. Kyle Bradish is an ace right now.
I know he is. But he's
Grayson Rodriguez is also an ace right now. And, I mean, those 2 guys are going to start, 2? Or are they going to start 4 of the games? Like, Yeah, I think they're fine. Obviously, I mean, having that extra guy would help. I mean, they have decent enough pitchers where it's not like, oh, they have Kyle Bradish and, Grayson Rodriguez, and then they have you and me, they got major league starters. It's just they don't have, like, the top end guys, which, you kind of want in a playoff series. I think they're fine. I think they're going to win this series. They're the odds-on favorites to win this series. I think they're going to win this series.
Yeah, the bullpen get a little banged up there at the end of the season. What's the path here for the Rangers to win this series?
You got to take game 1 or 2, and hope it doesn't get to a game 5. Because, I mean, they're without Scherzer now, too, who's kind of rushing his way back from injury. The Orioles are also without John Means, but, I mean, I think Scherzer's absence matters more than Means' absence. But, I mean, I think the Orioles are going to be very good this year.
Yeah. No, the Orioles, obviously, came out, won that incredibly stacked AL East. They really just kind of blew everybody's expectations out of the waters. 100 wins is crazy for a team that had been, they showed signs of life at the end of last season.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, nothing.
I mean, yeah, Adley Rutschman and Gunnar Henderson are like two premier talents in baseball right now. And when you have them both on your team, you're going to be pretty good at baseball. And then you also have just Cedric Mullins was, he's not his all-star form, but he's still really solid. It's kind of like that Dalton Varsho conversation where, he's no longer an all-star type player, but he's still like a really good, everyday guy for you. Aaron Hicks had like a rebound with them. Anthony Santander has been there forever, and it's been really solid there forever. And they just turned Ryan Mahern into a everyday first baseman, which is that's not easy to do. I don't know. I've watched a lot of Ryan O'Hearn in my days with his time with the Royals. That's hard to do, to make him look that good, and he does it. He's been really good, so I'm really happy for him. And the Rangers, I know we've talked about how much money they spent on that lineup, and how good that lineup is. That lineup still feels kind of like Kyle Seager and friends to me, while the O's, I feel like, have just a much deeper lineup.
Yeah, the Rangers lineup feels very top heavy.
Yeah,
like all the time. They got Seager and they got Semien, and then
Josh Young is solid, but he's been hitting down in the bottom of the order.
And Garcia has his moments, but he goes through stretches of cold.
Yeah, and Nathaniel Lowe's been good.
But it's a very top-heavy lineup that the Rangers have. And the Orioles, the way down.
Yeah. 1 through 9, I think they give you a competitive at-bat.
And that's real tough. I think Baltimore's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Just the fans. That's their first playoff in 10 years or so. Last time they made it was 2014 or something like that.
I think it's 8 or 9, not 10.
Okay, come on.
When you're talking about years, it's a significant difference.
Not really.
2 years is a long time, Jeremy.
No, it's
2
not.
years ago, you were 12.
Look how much I've grown.
I know. It's crazy. Yeah, no, I think this series is kind of a easy peasy. I'm more interested in the Minnesota Twins and Houston Astros series, personally.
Yeah. So that series, let's talk about the Twins.
Well, we did talk about the
Twins. In that series, we did talk about the Twins, didn't we?
Yeah.
That series, what are your thoughts on that series?
So this is, I said 3 series. I think the favorites are going to win. The Astros are the favorites. I don't think they're winning. I think the Twins' pitching is head and shoulders above the Astros right now. Sonny Gray, Pablo Lopez, just, are just so good at baseball and so good at throwing a baseball. I think the Twins, and Royce Lewis is like, he's a star.
He's going.
So I think the Twins, this is kind of like their year, man. Like, they broke the curse. Like, let's make a run now. And I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. All right. It is gonna be tough. I like the Twins. I really do like the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of what they do. But the Astros are just...
I mean, it's the Houston Astros, yeah.
Like, they have all that playoff pedigree. The Twins, for as many times that they've been in the playoffs, recently, they've only played, 8 games.
Yeah.
And a lot of their guys are super young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They also have Carlos Correa on their team. I think he offers a little bit of experience. And I think the Twins roster, like you said, it's young, but I think when you look at it, they're still, fine, Correa, they got, playoff superstar, Michael A. Taylor. You never know what Michael A. is going to do in the playoffs.
It's true. He saved a home run.
Yeah.
Already.
And he, made, a really nice diving catch, too. Michael A. is, he's electric in the playoffs. So I don't know if Buxton was on the roster for the Twins.
I think he's still hurt right now.
Okay. But, still they have Royce Lewis, Correa, Edward, Julian. They have a lot of guys. They have a lot of guys, as in, the baseball, solid guy, solid player guys. Max Kepler can do some things against right-handed pitching. They got some fun bats.
And they have Andrew Stevenson.
That definitely, that's the difference maker. When you're talking about a guy who can win a Gold Glove anywhere on the diamond, and then he just I don't know if he still has the hair. I hope he still has the hair. The hair was a very integral part to Andrew Stevenson's character. But he brings speed, defense, fun hit at bats. He puts up a competitive AB. He might not put it over the wall, but he's competitive. So
yeah, no, the Twins. Another team, we talked about Luis Arias' trade a little bit on the Marlins side, but on the Twins side, they obviously got Paulo Lopez
and 2 other prospects.
And Lopez has been incredible this year.
Mm-hmm.
He, I believe, was second in the AL in strikeouts, and he's been that ace that the Twins haven't had in a long time. There's nothing on a guy like Sonny Gray, but
Sonny Gray was a better pitcher this year. Sonny Gray was really good, dude. Nobody talks about it. Sonny Gray could honestly win the Cy Young.
Really?
Sonny Gray was really good. It is unfair how good Sonny Gray was this year.
All right. And then on the Astros side, Justin Verlander, Game 1.
Yep.
That's going to be a tough matchup with Bailey Obear. It's a tough little...
I know it's Verlander, but Verlander has not been, Verlander this year.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't been the same this year, but it's Justin Verlander. And if anyone's going to turn back the clock, it's going to be him. Or Max Scherzer. But one of those guys isn't healthy.
Yeah. No, I think, I don't know. I think, the Astros just kind of had, too many, question marks, I feel in this postseason. And I feel like the Twins have a lot fewer question marks. I don't know what to expect with the Twins. The Astros are kind of an unknown thing where it's, we say unknown as if, it's the, not the Houston Astros who've won, 2 World Series in the past 5 years. But this, this team has just been really, wishy-washy all year. and I'm just afraid that they're gonna kind of be, on that downhill against this Twins.
How long? I mean, the Astros, they were injured a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have as great of a season as,
They still got the bye in the playoffs.
Astros teams of the past have.
Mm-hmm.
But, they still had 90 wins. You still had a bye. I mean, ugh. That team is just so good. I don't know. I've got the Orioles in 4,
Mm-hmm.
and the Astros in 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Twins. I really do. But they don't have Buxton, and I know he's been hurt all year, but
And he hasn't been good all year.
but he's
They got Bryce Lewis, though.
I know, they do. They got Andrew Stevenson.
I mean, I think, I love Andrew Stevenson as much as the next guy. In fact, I probably love him more than the next guy.
Definitely not love him more than the next guy.
You can't put those two in the same conversation, Jeremy. That is disrespectful to Royce Lewis.
Ugh. Alright. That's tough. You said you had the Twins. How many games?
Have him in 4.
4.
Yeah.
Alright. And what about the O's?
O's in 3.
Alright. Phillies Braves.
Yeah.
This is my favorite series.
Yeah. Braves in 5.
Yeah, Braves in 5. But this is gonna be so much fun to watch.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be a fun series, especially because it's 2 NL East teams. But I don't know. It's just
No.
it's just the Braves are really good at baseball. Phillies are good at baseball. Braves are really good at baseball. Like, they they tied the home run record without the juice balls. Like, that's really hard to do. The Braves are just really good at baseball. I mean, Ronald Acuna Jr., we haven't talked about him at all. He's, at least runner-up the MVP.
He's gonna win the MVP, Hayden.
He's at least runner-up.
He's gonna win the MVP.
I'm going to give myself this little cushion here and say he's at least runner-up. He hit 40-something home runs, stole 70-something bags, stole the hearts of millions of Americans. He's just doing Ronald Acuna Jr. things. And then, Austin Riley's just solid. Matt Olson hit a bajillion home runs. Just a good baseball team. And then the Phillies are, they just got vibes. And I feel like that's what they got on their side. Braves don't have vibes. Phillies have vibes right now.
What does that mean?
They've got vibes. This is that high quality analysis you asked for, Jeremy. That's what I'm bringing. The Phillies have that vibe where they're the team right now.
Right.
The Braves, I don't feel carry themselves with that same vibe. But maybe that'll change in the playoffs. The last time I watched the Braves, they were playing against a 70-win Nationals team. So, a little bit different in excitement. But I mean, that 70-win Nationals team took 2 games off of them.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't know. I think the Phillies are very good at baseball, but you're going up against the premier team in baseball right now.
This is a Phillies team that made it to the World Series last year and got better.
Yeah.
Right? They went out and they added Trey Turner.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to get some pitching. Didn't work out as well as they'd hoped. But
I mean, it's a better team than it was last year. But this Braves team is also way better than it was last year. It's just a really good Braves team. I don't have a doubt in my mind that the Braves win this series.
does the winner of this series make it out of the NL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Dodgers are so hurt. Like, no pitcher on the Dodgers team no starter through 25 starts. Like, it's just a really hurt and beat up team. I mean, yeah, you got Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. That'll make winning a lot easier. But it's, I don't know, man. I don't know how much you can rely on a Clayton Kershaw who's struggling. You know, he's throwing on a bum shoulder. You know, like, Clayton Kershaw is a Hall of Fame pitcher, but I don't know. You know, for his sake, I want him to not play. I want to watch more years of Clayton Kershaw do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
He's gonna play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not like, you know, this is young Kershaw where it's like, oh, we gotta like save your career. Like, his career is at the end already. He's already in his last few seasons. More just based on vibes rather than performance, but
yeah. But no, that Braves team is just so stacked. It really is annoying how stacked they are.
Yeah.
Like, you lose Freddie Freeman, and you just say, "Oh, no big deal. I'll just grab Matt Olson real quick.
Yeah, we'll just go trade for him.
We'll just go get."
It's like, you know, like Travis Darno, he's solid, but we can probably have a better catcher. Let's go trade for Sean Murphy.
How does Sean Murphy sound?
You know, man, we don't really, you know, the Dansby Swanson, you know, he's gonna cost a lot. Let's just have Orlando Arcia put up an all-star caliber season.
Yeah, let's just do that.
You know, man, we need a center fielder. Let's go call up this like guy who's literally younger than everybody else, Michael Harris II, and he'll just go catch some fly balls for us, and you know, be really good.
Yeah, and then, there's this one. Our pitching staff needs some help. Let's just call up this one guy who is going to be one of the greatest strikeout pitchers of all time. You know.
Yeah. Let's just do that.
Yeah. And then they have Eddie Rosario too.
It would have been funnier if you said Kevin Pillar, but that also works.
They love Eddie Rosario there.
They do. And Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah.
Sitting they have him too.
He's there.
He hit, you know, a lot of home runs for them.
Yeah. Gosh.
He hit the record tying home run.
What?
The home run record by a team.
Oh.
He hit the home run that tied that against the Nationals.
No. Yeah, so they're very good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Phillies, on the other hand, they're also very good, but they're not as good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for that series, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be must-watch baseball there. Both of those stadiums are going to be rocking. Yeah, no. I've still got the Braves in 5, but it's going to be tight.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Phillies give them the best run out of any team.
Yeah, at least in the National League.
No, including the American League.
Okay. I disagree, but, you know, I think this is going to be a really good World Series matchup no matter what, so.
And then we touched on the Dodgers a little bit.
Yeah.
They are playing the Diamondbacks.
And they're going
to win.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the Dodgers. You have another guy who is at least runner-up to the MVP in Mookie Betts. Then you have a guy who in any other year would probably win the MVP, Freddie Freeman. You know, it's just, you know, a really stacked lineup. You know, Max Muncy's just there. Will Smith is there. You know, Miguel Rojas has been really good lately. They're just good. You know, like, it's just a really good team. The bullpen's just going to do its thing. It's just, you know, how many innings can we get out of these starters and just not, you know, break down before we get to the World Series. Because, I mean, they do have, you know, World Series aspirations. I think they've could win the World Series, but it's just the question is health, and how long can that machine run for this year?
Right, and that's what I'm worried about with that team.
Yeah, and I think if everyone just stays healthy and everyone performs like the back of their baseball card, I think they have a very good odds to at least make the World Series.
I'm taking the Diamondbacks in this series.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of this Dodgers team this year.
Dodgers team's really good, Jeremy.
I know, and I know they're very good.
You want me to read?
I want
their roster for you, just so that way you can realize how much of an idiot you are.
I think that the Diamondbacks are just gonna out-scrap them. Like, I know that roster is stacked, Hayden, but the pitching is hurt. Clayton Kershaw is not the greatest in his playoff career.
That's exaggerated.
It really isn't.
Who cares? They got Clayton Kershaw, Bobby Miller, Lance Lynn, and Ryan Pepio.
None of those guys really move me.
That's a really good rotation. You want to hear who the Diamondbacks got lined up?
Yeah.
All right. You have Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen.
Right.
But then you have Brandon Pfaadt, and then you don't have anybody else.
I don't need 4 pitchers. They only need 3 pitchers to beat the Dodgers. I think the Diamondbacks take this series in 5.
I'm glad you think that. I disagree.
I don't know. What are you gonna read the roster to me?
Yeah, they got Mookie Betts,
Mm-hmm.
Freddie Freeman,
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith, Max Muncy,
Mm-hmm.
JD Martinez, who
He's having a pretty good season.
he's just casually hitting 33 home runs. Pretty solid year, some might say. Then you have Jason Hayward, who also is having a pretty good season. Just casually hitting 269, 340, 473. That's pretty good numbers, especially with 15 bombs. Then you have a guy who's almost 2020 season with James Outman, one of like the weirder rookies in this year's class. And then you just got David Peralta, former Diamondback, fun fact. And then you have Miguel Rojas down there, famous Nats killer, just sitting at the bottom of that order. This is just a really, this is the second best lineup in baseball.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they were second in OPS, second in runs, second in home runs.
That sounds crazy to me. I don't know why.
They're the second best lineup in baseball. This is, not to discredit the Diamondbacks, this is a really good lineup. It is hard to be this good. Obviously, the injury concerns are there for that rotation. But then you also have just, a bunch of really solid relievers. It's hard to see a situation where, even if a guy goes down with injury, right? You still have Ryan Yarbrough and Emmett Sheehan and Michael Grove who can piece together 8 innings for you. Now, you have enough bulk relievers where I don't think it's that big of a concern. I don't know, obviously you're going to be giving up a bunch of runs in those innings. But with that lineup, I think I've changed my tune on these Dodgers. I think Dodgers in 4. Dodgers in 4.
I don't know, that just sounds like I know they're good. I know they're very good.
Uh-huh.
They won almost 100 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
But that just sounds wrong. I feel like All right, I stick by it. I think the Diamondbacks are going to win this series.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, though.
Yeah. And I think, like, even then, like, then they can just, it's like, oh, you bring out a big lefty to face them. Then they have Ahmed Rosario, Chris Taylor, and Enrique Hernandez on the bench, Jeremy.
That's pretty good.
Those are, like, all, guys who you would normally start. And they just have them just chilling on the bench. Like, it's just, the Dodgers are not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's fine.
Game 1 starts at 2:15.
Game 1 starts at 2:15?
For the O's, yeah.
All right, cool. So, look forward to that. All right, Hayden, we have our NLCS matchups. We have Braves and Dodgers / Diamondbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the Twins / Astros and the other team.
Orioles.
Who's winning the ALCS and NLCS?
The Orioles and the Braves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. And I have the Braves winning the World Series here.
Yeah.
Just because I don't think there's a team in the AL that can...
I think the O's will put up a really good fight. I think this is going to be a really good World Series no matter who makes it. All these teams are very good at baseball. And it's just going to be fun playoff baseball, man. I don't know. Who cares? It's going to be fun.
No, this is, I don't know how it's felt to you, but it feels like baseball's so top-heavy this season. I don't know. There's a lot more teams hovering around 100 wins than I expected. You know?
I mean, yeah, it's top-heavy, but it's also just, like, there's a lot of good teams this year. Like, there's just... I think it's more of, like... I think the teams that are really bad this year. And I think that's it. Like, the A's, the Royals, which, the Royals were pretty good in the second half. The Nats, the White Sox, like, there's just a lot of really, the Rockies. There's really bad teams. And that's all.
All right. No, I don't think there's a team in the AL that can... I think the winner is going to come out of the NL. I think it's either going to be the Phillies or the Braves.
That's a fair argument, yeah.
I really think that this series is going to be the World Series winner.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I don't know. Both of those teams are so electric, and I don't know. That's my thoughts there.
Good thoughts.
The O's are great. Love the O's.
Mm-hmm.
Always have a soft spot in my heart for the O's. Not this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. Talked a little bit about Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
He got himself an extension.
Yeah.
But hold on. Before we dive more into football, we've reached the top of the hour here on WXJM, 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. You are listening to The Triple Threat Show with your hosts, Jeremy Lapidus and
Hayden Raymer.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can check us out on YouTube at The Triple Threat Show. You can check us out on Instagram at The Triple Threat Show, and you can check us out on Twitter at 3Threat Show. Yeah. Anyway, Jonathan Taylor. Talked a little bit about him. There was a lot of drama this offseason where, it didn't seem, or at least in my opinion, it didn't seem like he was ever going to put on a Colts uniform again.
Mm-hmm.
News comes out earlier this week that he is practicing with the team, and news comes out today on the show that not only is he planning on playing tomorrow, but he has signed a massive extension.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this whole situation here, Hayden?
Good for Jonathan Taylor. Good for the Colts to keep their player.
outside of just the Jonathan Taylor part, this has huge implications on the running back community in general.
Yeah.
There was a whole thing this offseason with not paying running backs, and, Jonathan Taylor was in the center of it. Him, Saquon, Josh Jacobs,
Yep.
Tony Pollard.
Mm-hmm.
None of them got paid.
Yep.
I think all three of those guys, other than Jonathan Taylor, got franchise tagged. And now Jonathan Taylor, he doesn't reset the running back market, but he makes really solid money.
Mm-hmm.
Does this buck the trend? Does this help the running back community get back on its feet? What kind of ripple effects does this kind of deal have?
I mean, I think Taylor's probably a step above a few of those names that you mentioned. I think your, super elite guys are still going to get paid, but I mean, you're seeing a trend in the NFL where it's, the run game is kind of getting ditched. And I think, sure, these guys are better than, I can't think of, I don't want to call anybody out. I can't think of any, what's the most, average running back?
The most average running back,
In your mind?
in my mind, we'll go with, Miles Sanders or something.
Yeah, so, I think for a lot of, in the opinion of the NFL front offices, right, the money that you spend to get that elite guy might not necessarily be worth it for, the production that you're getting out of them.
Right.
And so, that money's better spent somewhere else, where, you get that guy who's solid, isn't going to, break the bank. And I think they're going to be kind of content with that. And I think that's just kind of the trend we're seeing in the NFL, personally. What do you think, Jeremy?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't think this moves the market in any way.
Yeah.
I think teams are going to be like, but that's Jonathan Taylor.
Exactly.
And it sucks because running backs need to get paid. They have the shortest shelf life in the NFL, I guess. Because they just take so many hits.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super physical position. And you see it, a guy like Dalvin Cook. I mean, people were just saying, oh, he's 29 now, he sucks, and then he's 29 and he sucks. It really is, like that. And a lot of it has to do with offensive line and stuff like that, but it sucks to be a running back right now.
Mm-hmm.
Running back used to be the focal point in the NFL back in the 90s or 90s is a little too recent. 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Running back was the position.
Yeah.
That's why you saw things like the Herschel Walker trade, where the Vikings traded an entire draft for a running back, and it didn't work out.
No,
not at all. But the decline of the running back position, I mean, it happens. The game changes. Eventually, there's going to be a resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
It's always in cycles. We talk about it with other sports.
I disagree.
Yeah?
Yeah. Unless the way the game is played and the way we think of the game changes, tremendously, where it's, the way you're aligning defenses is completely different, I don't think you really see a change. Because I think a lot of, there were stats and there were analytics back then, right? But, to the extent that we have now, nowhere near that. So I just think, it's just the running back, it's the role of the running back is going to change a little bit, if anything.
See, because this is what's going to happen. The role of the running back is going to be less of these bruiser guys that can, rumble up the middle, run through you.
You're not going to have Derrick Henry.
Less Derrick Henrys, yeah. You're going to get more, I don't know if you remember this guy, Tariq Cohen. He's a running back on the Bears, shorter guy. Darren Sproles? No Darren Sproles? No?
Jeremy, if they aren't in the NFL right now, I do not know them.
I guess Austin Eckler is a good example.
Okay.
Where he's primarily a receiving back.
Yeah.
Right? And then defenses are going to react accordingly. You see...
I disagree a little bit. There's such an emphasis on the passing game, right? Where I think you're still going to have, a lot of guys kind of just charge at the quarterback, right? And, you're going to run into a running back sometimes when they're trying to run up the middle. I think it's just different. Like, I think the way you use the running backs is just going to completely have to change. Obviously, the defense is going to change a little bit, but I see a hard time seeing it swing dramatically back into the favor. I think there's always going to be, like, those guys like Derrick Henry who can just, run through you. That's always going to be something that, you're going to have that weapon, but I think it's going to be less and less, and you're going to see more of those receiving backs where, that's just another guy who you can kind of throw to, maybe for shorter distances, because they're not going to be flying down the field, but...
No, it's weird, because... I don't know. I think the running back position is just so important, and I guess stuff like this has happened. Fullbacks. You know fullbacks?
Vaguely.
Vaguely, yeah. Vaguely. They used to be just like running backs.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're just there sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Only like 5 teams in the league that have fullbacks.
Mm-hmm.
We love fullbacks. We're big fullback fans here.
I vaguely understand what a fullback is, so I'm going to not comment on the situation.
They're just big offensive linemen that can run into you, basically, at this point.
Uh-huh.
We love fullbacks.
Uh-huh.
We're big fans of fullbacks on the Triple Threat Show.
Okay.
We want only fullbacks in the league.
Okay. I feel like that's, having 53
fullbacks.
53 fullbacks on a roster probably isn't the best roster construction, Jeremy, but I trust you.
Dude, a fullback would be great at playing linebacker. And only linebacker.
Yeah, but there's like a bunch of other positions on the field, Jeremy.
Uh-huh.
Like you kind of need that. I think, like you said, it's going to be more passing. I think like an emphasis is also going to kind of be on like an extra, like you said, a fullback, where it's kind of an extra guy to help protect the QB is kind of going to be like the two type of guys you're going to see. And I think like just the role of the running back is just going to further change, it's, but like I said, I have a hard time seeing it swing dramatically back into the run it up the middle or run outside and just, run type of running backs.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I don't know. People are just so athletic nowadays. They can do anything.
Yeah. And it can be that jack of all trades thing, but I think, like I said, I think it's gonna kind of be more passing and more blocking of the role of the running back.
I don't know. There's not a lot of plays in football that are more exciting than a running back breaking free and going 70 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think of stuff like
Retro Bowl, yeah.
Just like Retro Bowl.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing in Retro Bowl to do. You just run it up and then he's just gone. It's like, oh, this is great. This has worked way better than I thought it would. And of course, I play on extreme, so that, I get like right to the end zone, and then I have a guy sprinting 50 miles an hour just truck me. But, yeah.
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 That's so dumb.
That's all my football knowledge is from playing Retro Bowl.
Yeah.
I just want that known.
We love Retro Bowl.
It's great.
Anyway. Hayden.
Jeremy.
Football this week.
Yeah.
starts tomorrow.
It does start tomorrow.
But we had a game on Thursday.
We had a game on Thursday.
We did.
Yeah.
So, the Bears.
Yeah.
They won a game.
Right?
Can you believe that?
First time in, like, what? A year almost?
Yeah. They were the only team in any major American sport that had not won a game this year.
I mean, that's, like,
That's
not good.
That's a stat. I love that.
I think, with the amount of games that they play in football, I feel like that's a little bit less important, a little.
Yeah, I know.
But still, yeah, no.
So, Justin Fields has looked really good over the last couple games. Is he back? Hayden?
No.
Is he? No?
No. I don't think he was ever gone. I think it's just, I don't know. I think the Justin Fields that is like a top 5 QB in the league probably will not happen with the Bears, if at all. But I think he can still just be a solid QB in the league. Yeah.
All right. And then other things. Chase Ball. Excuse me.
Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool got traded to the Dolphins earlier this week.
Yeah, he did.
The Dolphins already have Tyreek Hill. They already have Jalen Waddle. And to a lesser extent, they already have Braxton Berrios. Who's been pretty solid this year, honestly. Where does Chase Claypool fit into this?
Well, Jeremy, you see, this is the problem. We talk about, we just, in football, we think too much in the box. And the Dolphins just had this amazing idea, right? Where we don't really have a tight end. We just toss him at tight end. Thoughts?
Chase Claypool is a tall man. Chase Claypool is not built to play tight end.
That's okay. That's your inside the box thinking right there.
It's inside the box thinking. I don't think he could make a very good block.
You know what? That's okay. I'm sure they'll be fine.
And honestly, he doesn't really fit into that system very well.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't. You know more about football. All I know is retro bowl. Chase Claypool isn't in retro bowl, so it's.
That Dolphins team is fast.
Yeah.
Right. They're so fast.
Yeah, they are fast. They got Tyreek Hill.
They got Tyreek Hill. They got Jalen Waddle. They got Devon Achane. They got Raheem Mostert. All those guys run like 4.3s.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
And then you get Chase Claypool, who he's not a slow guy by any stretch of the imaginations, but I don't know, it just doesn't really fit their system. I don't know.
Well,
I don't get it.
It's just a different look, I guess, is probably what they're thinking. I mean, if you just got everything fast, you're not going to expect the not so fast.
You're right. They'll take the angle too far.
Yeah.
They'll end up in the stands.
Yeah. And then there he is, just wide open. As a tight end.
Chase Claypool, tight end.
Yeah.
That's the solution.
That is the solution. I mean, who else do they have at tight end, Jeremy?
Adam Shaheen. That's it. I think.
Is he hurt?
No, probably not.
Okay, I don't see him on the depth chart.
Maybe he's not there anymore.
Okay.
I don't know who the Dolphins' tight ends are. Thought I did.
I have the number 1 on their depth chart is... Oh, I lost it. Dang it. It's okay. It doesn't matter that much.
No. But anyway, Hayden, do you have a question of the week?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty a decent amount, into the football season. Everyone knows that you can just draw all your conclusions about the NFL after 5 games.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true.
So now I want to know exactly who is gonna win the Super Bowl.
All right.
And who are they gonna beat?
Let me tell you who is not going to win the Super Bowl, first of
Okay.
all. The New York Giants are not going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
They're bad.
They're bad. Okay. What about the Bears? Are they going to win the Super Bowl?
No, the Bears are also not going to win the Super Bowl because they're also bad.
Okay. What about the Commanders? Are they?
Commanders, they're also, you'll never believe this.
Okay.
They're bad,
Okay.
and they won't win the Super Bowl. But teams that are good,
Yeah.
the Dolphins,
Uh huh.
they're very good.
Uh huh.
I think they'll
They'll win the Super Bowl.
no.
They'll be in the Super
I
Bowl.
think they'll be in the Super Bowl.
Okay. There we go. So we have the loser.
They're the loser here.
Now who's the winner?
Coming out of the NFC here, we have a team who on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
The San Francisco 49ers
Mm-hmm.
are going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And that is because they're so good at football, baby.
Uh huh.
Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
They have this guy, right?
Uh huh.
Highest paid at his position.
Brock Purdy.
Almost.
Almost.
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. No, that would make more sense. Brock Purdy's probably not making a whole lot.
No.
No.
No, he's not.
No.
He scored a touchdown in like 15 straight games or
Mhm.
something crazy like that.
Yeah.
He's very good at football.
Very good at football.
You have this other guy, Deebo Samuel. Pretty good at football.
Pretty good at football.
You know, he's basically a running back and a wide receiver
Mm-hmm.
all at the same time.
Yeah.
He does not like to get tackled. Not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
You have this other guy, George Kittle.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, outside of that defense.
Yeah.
They have the reigning defensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, that team is so stacked. It's not fair. They're like the Braves in baseball.
Yeah.
It's not
No, I
fair.
know.
It isn't fair.
I know a little football. What I do know is the 49ers are very good. But yeah.
So, Niners versus Dolphins,
Mm-hmm.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That means no Patrick Mahomes.
No Patrick Mahomes.
No Patrick Mahomes.
Unless the 49ers trade for Patrick Mahomes.
I think the Chiefs might bite on that.
They might.
They might.
We'll give you our entire roster. Yeah, no, I mean that's an okay choice.
Yeah.
That's all right. But where's the fun in that? All right.
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah,
That would be such a fun Super Bowl to watch.
Listen, Jeremy, that's fun and all, but I also have a team coming out of the AFC East making the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I have them winning it.
The New York Jets.
No, not the New York Jets. Unfortunately, I have the Buffalo Bills. They got a pretty good defense. Their defense might be getting better. I believe they have a
Getting
guy.
Von Miller back.
I believe they have a guy named Von Miller coming back soon. And I'm sure they can, work up some magic, go trade for some guy. Maybe Chase Claypool after he becomes a really good tight end. And then they can, get somebody to help out Stephon Diggs. So that way he's not like the only target.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Stephon Diggs is gonna beat what team in the Super Bowl?
They're gonna beat. Now this one's a shocker. All right. But I'm officially declaring it, putting the flag in the sand. It is Baker Mayfield season.
It's Baker season.
It's Baker season.
Yeah.
And yeah.
What team will Baker be playing for when he reaches the Super Bowl, Hayden?
He'll be playing for the. I was about to say the 49ers. So he'll be playing for the Bucks.
The Bucks?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. No mid-season trade for
No,
Baker Mayfield?
No, he's not going to the 49ers in a mid-season trade, unfortunately.
No?
That'd be really funny, though.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
'Cause it's Baker Mayfield season.
Oh my goodness.
They've got some guys there.
Yeah?
They got some guys, Baker, this is it. This is like, his peak, He's officially filled Tom Brady's shoes, you know? And he's got to, make it to a championship like Tom Brady would.
The Vikings are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
You seen how Kirk Cousins been playing?
I wish I did not.
So good.
I don't know, man. Yeah, sorry, Shane. I don't think the Vikings are gonna make the Super Bowl.
Kirk Cousins to the Jets?
Anywhere near. That would be funny. I would love that.
I think that'd be good.
That would be good.
It won't happen.
It won't happen. It should.
It should.
It should, but it's okay. They're gonna stick with Wilson, and then they're gonna have Rodgers come back again next year.
What are you talking about? He's coming back in like 3 weeks. Haven't you heard all the crazy things he's been doing? And his mindset?
Oh, is he now?
Yeah.
That's the Marcus Stroman comes back from what was it? An ACL tear in like 4 months. Or something like crazy like that. I don't know if it was an ACL, but he like tore something and it had like a really long thing and he came back in like 4 months.
That's what he's doing. He said, I've got the mindset, I'm training hard, I'm putting my foot up to dolphin sex noises.
And yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you today, Jeremy. My name's Hayden Raymer. This is the Triple Threat Show on WXJM.org or WXJM FM. What's the
88.7?
That's it, 88.7 FM. Yeah. I am gonna go now. Jeremy, it was a pleasure talking to you. But I don't want to have this conversation anymore, so I'm just gonna leave.
All right. Well, thank you everybody so much for tuning in to this episode. Remember, you can check us out on YouTube at The Triple Threat Show. You can check us out on Instagram at The Triple Threat Show. And you can check us out on Twitter at 3Threat Show. That was Hayden. He was here. Thank you for coming, Hayden. My name is Jeremy Lapidus. We will see you next week. Bye-bye. And stream.